Lance, I'm going to guess you're a bit happier this week than you were last week.
Delighted, obviously. I think I can't really say it on air, but they call it a something sandwich at half time where we've done some good things in that first half and some poor things. I thought, give Walsham credit in that first sort of 18, 20 minutes. They were by far the better side. They came out with a real urgency and a real desire. And we hung in there, so you then go on the back of that, the next 18, 20 minutes ourselves with a better side. And in that period, we scored with a good header from Harry Harvey. But then we kind of commit suicide in a way by giving a poor goal away. We don't stop the cross and then we don't deal with it at the back stick. And then whether Marcus is fouled or not for the second, there's a catalyst of kind of different equations there. And you're going at half time 2-1 down. So you're going from, I turned to Spenny after 38, 39 minutes when we go on 1-0 up. And I'm delighted, and all of a sudden within 5-6 minutes, you're annoyed and frustrated. So, like I say, they got a little bit of a ticking off at half time in a sense that I was just frustrated that we'd given the lead away after doing so well, after staying in the game and then, being on the front foot in it. Said to them at half time after a little bit of a roasting, but nothing, things that they're not used to as such. But it was a case of that I was frustrated with them and the referee also, because I thought the referee was poor tonight, and I don't mind if that gets me in trouble, but I just thought he didn't handle the game very well. There was not a single booking in the game tonight. It was quite a physical game, etc. And he gave one or two decisions against us, which I didn't think were right, especially the second goal. So we came out second half, and the last thing we said to them, remember, Ipswich Wanderers, that you're 1-0 down against them, against a very good side. I thought the second half were immense. I just thought, the energy we showed, bearing in mind they didn't play Saturday, we did. It was testament again to the, I keep using that word testament, but it's, the way we've gone about it second half. I mean, we've totally controlled it. We've totally dominated it. We've created chances. We've paced off the bench. Again, we use that, with the bench itself. It's making a big difference. And, we're giving a rest now until Saturday, but going top of the league like that is obviously, full credit to them, and they fully deserve it.
You mentioned the energy in the second half. Is that what you put it down to? Because the second half performance was the bit that won us the game.
Yeah, I came to him after the game and said, if it needs me to have a go at you at half time in that way, because it's not about me being personal with them, it's just frustration on my behalf where they've done so well. Second half was faultless in a way. I don't think Josh has had a say to make in the second half, if I'm honest. And I think, they've had one or two sort of long throws or crosses in the box. And we've made one or two good blocks, don't get me wrong, at the right time. But I think we've totally controlled the second half and we've looked a real threat. I think, I know that Max Rose has got man of the match and fully deserved today, and he thought he was outstanding. But our young Harry Harvey again at centre half was outstanding. Especially when we were under pressure in that first half. I think Jordan's come in and settled really well into the team, and we've got a young, energetic, with the experience with Alfie Connor coming off the bench today. We've now all of a sudden amassed a squad of 17, 18 lads, and Saturday's going to be a headache.
It looks like there's a bit more depth in the squad again, and touching him again, Alfie Connor. How far away is he from starting a game of football?
Yeah, we mentioned we talked him possibly starting Saturday, but we're not sure yet. Obviously, see how people are after these two games. But like I just said, I think for us now, where we are, we after the Durham game, you're kind of asking questions about us as such. Although we weren't far away with it performance-wise, but now we have that depth in squad. It's shown in the last 2, 3, 4 games. We can change games by bringing people off the bench. Alfie being one of those, and Bushy comes off the bench late on. Games comes off the bench. Having played most of the season thus far. Young Ethan, I thought, was excellent on Saturday at Woodbridge. For a young lad, and just spoke to him about it. And don't be disappointed that you're not starting in the sense, because the progression's there for him, and he's now a first team squad member. So the depth is there. No Mason tonight, no Wally tonight. So, we'll have some decisions to make on Saturday, but I'm glad we're in that position right now.
There were a few changes to tonight's starting 11. Do you just put it down to personnel not being here?
No, it was a case that we said we'd got 3 games in 7 days. And so, obviously, Zeth comes in for Gage. Tafari comes in for Ollie. And, it's a case of, you have to manage the squad in a way. It's not something that we're doing you want to do, because if any good manager will tell you, if you've got a winning side that winning week in, week out, then you don't generally change it. But when you've got 3 games in 7 days, the non-league players have to go to work for a living, so we have to make those decisions, and today it paid off.
Looking forward to Saturday then. We're away to Hadley. Can I get a word in that game from you? Looking to make it 5 from 5 in September.
I mean, we said before the game, we have an ideal opportunity here to go top of the league tonight, which we've done. So that box is ticked. The lads are very excited after the game in the dressing room, as you can imagine. But now the hard work comes again, because you've got 3 games where on paper you would say where we are positioned in the league that we should get results out of these games. But then I've said this before, against the last game against Woodbridge, how do we cope with that? Now all of a sudden we have a target on back to the top of the league. So we'll see how we cope with that as a youngish squad. But I think that the way they're going about it at the moment, and we can keep them all kind of excited and want to be in part of it, then let's see where it takes us. But the next 3 games are massively important to us.